or maybe a highway such as this, and a avenue that has the same number of lanes, but is an avenue, with a concrete barrier in the middle, as we've seen in the past. I would add things like that. I would also add a more compact expressway where I'm sure if you live in or have been to a major city at any point in your life, you've seen roads that have just a concrete strip, what they call a Jersey barrier, between the two sides. And that's something that I would like to see, something I'd like to have. Because as it stands right now, every highway has to be built one side after another, and it's really hard sometimes. It's really a pain in the butt to get all of the everything to line up, because sometimes you'll have like a variable distance between the two sides, or you'll have a curb that's, a median that, or a curve rather, that is not perfect because the other side is, but you couldn't get the right angle, you couldn't find the place where you clicked, and it's just a big mess like that. So I would like to have something like that. If I was a really elite programmer, what I'd really like to do is have improved traffic AI, because the way that traffic works in this game, and I'm sure you know this just by the way that things work, they calculate their starting location and their end location, and they do that, and they calculate the route, and the route includes which lane to be in at which time. Now, the problem with that, needless to say, is that it doesn't take into account who else is in that lane at that time, and you'll have situations like you see all the time, and if you play this game even a little bit, or watch people play this game or anything, I am absolutely certain that you know exactly what I'm referring to here, and it just makes you want to pull your head out, or pull your hair out. I like a system where it still keeps all the fundamentals in, like it pre-plans the route and all that, but the driver of each car is aware of if they can get into another lane, you know. There are technical problems with that too, I'm sure, and that's probably why they didn't implement it. I mean, the people who made this game were very conscientious about it, but sometimes I worry, I worry that it's just not a feasible thing to do. Like, they tried it, and it didn't work. Yes, that dike there is one of the few things that is a recent addition in the city, because as I've told you, and as you can see by where the trees are, the water has been steadily rising here, and it is a bit of a pain in the butt. Yeah, I have two circles next to one another here. This guy is giving us a nice little ride. Alright, and now we are on the semicircle national road that goes around the edge of here. I imagine, yep, just like I thought, he lives within this city, but exactly where is unknown. Very nice. Pretty scenic. Ooh, we're turning right. And we're home. Okay, I think it's time to switch over to some pedestrians. Alright, let's watch this person. We're going to look at an overhead view for now. Oh, I'm just kidding. That person's home. Alright. Let's watch this guy, because I'm sure these people are either going to the subway or away from the subway, and we're going to find out which. Because I forget exactly where the subway station is, but yes. See how close we can get. We can't get any closer. We can even go down a street view with the people, and then you can see how limited the people are in their animation. But of course, this is about cities and about people, you know. as anti-socialist that sounds. And now they're in the subway, which we can't see. We can't see the subway. There is a way to do it, but I usually don't like to do it because it involves closing the box and losing track of the actual person you're following. I mean, you still follow the blue dots, but you won't have the information. But if you go to the road screen and go into underground view, you can actually see the subway action going on. So, all right, this person is here, and that indentation in the sidewalk is a bus stop. Is this person going to wait for the bus? No, this person is not. They are crossing the road, and over here we have a train station. All right. This person's going to get on a train and probably go to a completely different part of the city. As you can see, people are going in either direction, and there's probably more than one line here. So let us drop down here, get a good view. As you can see, to our left is our city with our semicircle national road. To our right are some suburban type areas. I see a train slowly making its way over here. I think I did make the city after learning the lesson of separating out your separating out your local and express lines. Okay, let's see if this is the train that this person wants. The answer is yes. All right, here we go. And she was nice enough to sit in a forward-facing seat, which I like a lot. I just don't like rear-facing seats. Oh, guess what? Everything I just said, I was lying. She sat in a rear-facing seat. All right. But here we go. Hopefully she doesn't go one station. Oh my god, that's a lot of people. That's usually a sign that you need to do something different in your design, because you see how the people only at the front got on the train. That means that the train is now full, and most likely more people will arrive on this line from other train lines than will, or from the station itself. More people will arrive on the station between now and the time the next train gets there than the next train will be able to get, and that's what just keeps adding and adding. That might actually be one of the reasons the day and night cycle for rail is an option. You can turn off the rails at night, because I think that resets a lot of things. But here we go at this station. Same sort of situation. Whoops. This person's getting off. And, well, the fact that this person is on the side of the tracks that has not much going on leads me to think that she knows where to be, and this train is going to this is the side that gets on first, because this game doesn't use a first in, first out system. It takes all the people from one side, and it will go until those people are all on the train. Oh, just like I thought. Very good. But yeah, it gives a problem like let's say you are on the platform. You can number the locations where people can sit from 1 to 10, let's say. And let's say a train comes and it picks up people in spots 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then it's full. What would make sense under an optimal system is people from position 5 would move down to position 1, people from position 2 would move down to position, or from 6 to 2, from 7 to 3, and such, so that people would still get on the train eventually. But what happens is they don't. People stay in their station, and then when new people are added, they will go to a line or they will go randomly to a spot, which might be 1 or 2, which will get them on earlier than the other people, or it might be 9 or 10, in which case they're going to join the throngs of people who have been waiting there forever and are never ever going to get on the train, making the problem even worse. So, as you can see, it's suboptimal, but I have the feeling that the programmers had a reason of doing that, because doing it right, like quote right, I think maybe it's just too much of a technical hurdle for them to jump over. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt with a lot of these things. I mean, there could be laziness involved. I don't want to say there isn't, but I mean, hell, this game is so great for so many reasons. And really, like, they don't have much to go off because, like I've mentioned before, there really haven't been any good city building games since SimCity 4. You know, everything else has fallen short. So, really, they're going from scratch when they're thinking of a lot of the how things work here. Alright, she obviously lives in this little town. And just because we're almost there, let's go into first-person view. Yep, this is what she sees from street level. And as you can see, the people are actually not that poorly rendered, really. And this is how you really see things. Whoop. And we're home now. Alright. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what exactly our train. Okay, what I want to do is I actually want to watch the train itself, because that could be fun. This train is almost full, but not completely full, which is actually the most optimal thing to see. I'd rather see that than a train that was actually full, because that meant that people were left behind, and there's no way of knowing whether just a few people were left behind or most people were, and it was one of those situations where we saw before. So this is a line that connects our 2 regions, and it seems to be high enough that it's not going to be destroyed by boats. And man, that is one ugly part of the city. If only I knew, man. If only I knew. Maybe I should do like an urban rescue for this city and try to fix some of these problems, because I think that could be helpful. So you have the station here, which isn't the biggest stop. Have an at-grade crossing, which, as you can tell, is very trafficked. We go up and over the circular highway, and this is where this rail line joins the circular road, or a circular rail, rather, and that dark green, almost this camel-looking train, for lack of a better word. That's where it goes. It's going to hang out here and wait. As you can see, we have a lot of people here. It doesn't look too bad, though. And yeah, this train is full. So we're going to see, just as a demonstration, what happens as this train goes around the city. I'd love to go into first person, but since this train line never ends, it's quite possible we'd never get out of this train. We would just be running this train forever, which I think that happened in a movie or something. Could be wrong. But this is our station on the circle that most connects to the outside. And this isn't used as much as our subway system. And one other thing I have to point out, that it is interesting how people walk at different speeds. You know, like children will walk slower than adults, and the elderly will walk the slowest of all. Oh, as you can see, a majority of the people already get off at this first station. I think this one actually has a more direct line to either buses, subway, or both, that has more of a direct connection to where people want to go. And you see that other rail line that's parallel that doesn't interact with this rail line, that's our outside line. And as I said, it's really important to segregate those. And more people actually got on the train here than got off it, which is interesting. We are going to continue to go around our circle to the next station. They're pretty close together around here, but it's not really that big of a issue considering that these people are very close to our sort of the more densely traveled areas. Now we have a very small number of people on the train because we are heading around the backside of the city. Backside. And the last of what I guess could be considered our front stations, and then we're going to be heading into the back stations. As you can see, it's very rural and undeveloped there. I think what I might do in the Urban Rescue game is pretty much demolish all the industry that is in shit condition and replace that with residential and replace the industry in areas where the zones are favorable to it, or simply rezone a lot of the industrial depending on what happens. Okay, so not much action going on here. As you can see, there still are people going to our highway out here, but it's a much smaller number than you would see from within our thing. And it keeps jerking around. I wanna keep it more or less straight. Actually, it doesn't really matter. In fact, you know what? Let's be rebels. We're going to look in at our city. This is what a passenger sitting on the side of the train would see. Yeah, let's do that. Look at that sky. And those might look like seagulls, but those are planes. They look like they're seagulls. They're like circling on an updraft or something. This is a cool view, man. But yeah, we're a net loss of 6 passengers at this station. Yeah, this is much more fun than watching the train go directly straight, because we can see so much more here. And I can almost hear the rumble of the track. Alright, a net loss of 1 person. Unfortunately, there's not enough information to know if 1 person got off, or let's say 10 people got off and 9 people got on. It'd be interesting if it just had that little bar of information for the last stop that it got to. Yeah, we're up to 15 now. So we start to head back around. And now we're still at 15, so it's not a net loss or gain. Actually, just kidding, we're not at the station yet. Alright, let's see what happens when we get to here. We've jumped up to 37. You can tell that we're getting closer to our connecting station. And let's see what happens now. Because I think this is the one. We'll find out. Alright, we're not there yet. Well, let's take a peek. Yep, here we are. I bet it's going to go from 37 to damn near full once again. Although I think more people are actually waiting to get on the red train to go to the other side of the city. But 167, so yeah, plenty of people are waiting to go here. We got a bit of a backup here because these damn trains keep getting in the way. I probably could have had this. If there is a way to make it go on the other side. Let's see. Whoa, hello. Let's see if I can't change that. Oh wait, no, we're on. Can we do that? Did I screw it up? Oh God, I screwed it up. I'm so sorry. No, don't leave me. Yeah, the mechanics of fixing these lines is, let's just say it could use some improvement. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I create a line? Can I create a stop? Drag a line and add stop. There we go. That's what we wanted. Okay. We managed to get what we wanted, but it was a pain in the butt, and it's too late for these guys. They're all going to crowd onto the subway, and who knows where they'll go. Alright, well, I think the last thing I wanted to do today is watching a hearse is always fun, because they're going to go places where, you know, you never know where they're going to go. They're going to go all over. So we're going to keep our lookout for a brand new hearse. See if we can get away without cheating this time, because eventually one is going to spawn. We could cheat. We could place one more. But I feel with 9 of them here, one of them is going to spawn a new hearse at any minute now. Because you see, we do have full hearses returning. Yeah, I tried to put these at a strategic location. That's going to give us the most benefit. Okay, if it's not ready for in a short bit, we're just gonna make a new one. I mean, come on, we gotta do better than this. I mean, there has to be someone dying somewhere, right? No, no one dying. No one dying. Nobody's dying today. Alright, this is getting silly. Nobody's dying. We gotta make a new thing. Ouch. Bright. Yeah. Boom. And everyone's happy, because everyone loves a crematorium. Watch no hearses come out of this one. Oh wait, no, here we go. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to now watch a hearse. We will follow him as he finds dead people to transport. You know, come to think of it, I have that city ring road. I probably should have one, or that rail. I'll probably have one going the other way too. Although, to be completely honest, it's probably much more important. Or it's much more, people like the subways a lot more efficient. Or we're not really, I shouldn't say efficient. That might be true, but I mean, they go more directly to places because they go right into the heart of the city rather than in a ring. But here we are on one of our excellent avenues. And there we go. Yeah, not sure why the people who decide to put on traffic lights are going to decide one color light for one kind of road and another kind of light for another. It seems kind of inane to me. But it does help you visually distinguish them from at night, so it is kind of interesting. Like, why should these be white and those be yellow? But, you know, it's really a small matter, as I said. One thing that's kind of an interesting fact that I don't know if you know, but in Berlin, you can tell at night from space or from the air what parts of the city used to be East Berlin and what used to be West Berlin, because both parts of the city used different light bulbs. So one is noticeably yellower, whereas one part is noticeably whiter. And I imagine as time goes on and light bulbs are replaced that it becomes more uniform. But I've heard that it's still very visible. Speaking of things that are visible from space and related to light, is North Korea. You ever seen a picture of North Korea at night from space? You got South Korea, which is lit up like a Christmas tree, and you got China, which is pretty bright. And between them, you have blackness. You have darkness. You have a little blotch for Pyongyang, but it's very small. And then you have a couple blotches for a few other cities, but really, the whole city is just, or the whole country is just black. And it makes you think, like, they talk about the Great Wall of China being, as the cliche is, it's the one thing that you can see from space, when in fact, number one, it's not actually true. You can't actually see it from space. And number two, you can actually see a whole lot of man-made stuff from space. You can obviously see cities from space. You can see urban developments.